Hello, everyone. Welcome to Shelf Space with Kino Lorber, where we talk about all things physical media with Kino Lorber's head of acquisitions, Frank Tarzi. Today, we have our first returning guest, Jonathan Hertzberg of Fun City Editions. Welcome back, Jonathan. They will be answering your audience questions, so thank you to everyone who submitted a question ahead of time. If you would like to submit a question for a future episode, be sure to sign up for our newsletter to get on our email list. And if you have a customer service question, please submit those at the link in the video description below. Hi, guys. Nice to see you again, Jonathan. How are you?
So nice to be back. Thanks. Thank you for making me the first return guest.
Well,
It's an
actually, Jonathan,
honor.
can you scooch over to Frank a little bit more? We're actually you're getting cut off there.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Okay.
just
How's
noticing.
this? Sorry.
Yeah, get cozy.
Frank, you want me to get a little?
It's an
Yeah, you can
intimate
get closer.
show.
It's okay. It's all right.
You guys
Is
are
this-
friends.
Is this
We're all
good?
friends
Yeah,
here.
this is good.
Can you hear me okay?
that's
Because the
much
mic's
better.
over here. Good. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly, and now we can see you perfectly.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, so you were here, I think, last August.
Yeah. It was August. Yeah.
It's been about a year exactly. How's your year been? Any fun updates with Fun City or life in
Yeah.
general?
Yeah. I think the last time I was here, we had maybe released some of the titles that we licensed from Paramount, and so we've had several since then, and other things that have been announced. Some popular titles that were part of that Paramount deal, like Lifeguard was one that's done quite well for us. We had Racing with the Moon. We had this is where I should have had my list up. I got my list up for the stuff we're going to talk about, and now I'm trying to go off the cuff on my own stuff.
Have you announced the 4K title yet?
Yes, we have. We have announced, and we've already taken pre-orders on our first UHD title, which is Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains. And
nice.
that title's in production right now, and it should be. I think there's a street date now. It's like late January. I don't have the exact date, but we have a
I saw
special.
that-
Sorry, you saw what?
I saw that Spike of Bensonhurst is also getting released. Does that
Yes.
have a street date yet?
We don't have a street date yet for Spike. That one we're still working on the restoration. But we are going to be releasing. It's Paul Morrissey. It's one of his last films. Definitely his last major release.
I saw that at the UA East Side on 64th Street or something like that, I think it was.
We talked about this last time. Frank has this amazing ability to remember every theater where he saw.
Yeah, I saw that.
Everywhere he saw.
I saw that I remember me and my older brother walking out at like midnight because it was a 10 o'clock screening or whatever. We both kind of liked the movie. We thought it was good.
We
Got
watched
Cody
it.
from Step by Step.
Yes, but this was before that. Right.
Yes.
And then later he was on Dallas as JR's like illegitimate son.
Ernest Borgnine is in that, right?
Yeah, Ernest Borgnine and Sasha Mitchell is the actor. He's Spike, and all filmed in Brooklyn, but actually not in Bensonhurst. Really, I think it's all like Greenpoint and Red Hook and Williamsburg, but still Brooklyn. Good location hunting for
love
those
letter
that-
to Brooklyn.
Yeah, for people.
It's a good New York movie, independent New York movie.
Yeah, and we just played it. They just played it at Metrograph in September. They were doing a Paul Morrissey series, and it played really well with the audience. Like people were really laughing at all the parts you're supposed to laugh at, and it was fun to watch it with an audience. So I'm excited about that one because it really hasn't been available in the digital HD era at all. Spike of Bensonhurst. So we've got that, and Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains. We have Goodbye Columbus coming, which is Philip Roth adaptation, another Paramount film it's Ali MacGraw's first film with Dick Benjamin, and that one is coming. I think we have that for next month. And when we get into, I guess when you ask me later, I think you're going to ask me later, like what stuff do I have? What other stuff do I maybe have to announce later? I'll come up with something else.
All right, that's great.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That sounds good. Well, I mean, we don't have to kind of like go in any order, but now that you've mentioned New York movies, Frank, did you want to talk a little bit about Night of Juggler, which is also a quintessential New York movie?
Yeah, there's been this when we released the film, unknowingly there was this repeat short edit of a scene that appears second time in the film. And, this was something that it kind of breaks my heart because, what the film means to me. And I wish, I'm not making any excuses, but there was the main thing is that I wish there in a perfect world, I would be able to fix that and offer, a replacement program. But since the scene is such a minor scene and it also doesn't really take anything away from the experience of watching this really great film, we felt that it just didn't make sense for us to do it. We went back to find out how it happened and why it happened. And on the film elements that they had used, that edit was on it. And you may say, well, how is that possible? But that happens. It may have been a situation where they wanted to put something there, like a repeat shadows. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Because it's, as you could see, if you watch the film, the audio doesn't, always perfectly overlaid or laid over.
The audio is continuous. You don't.
Right. And
I
if
never
I would have
noticed
watched the
anything.
film from start to finish, I think I would have caught it because I'm familiar with the movie. I've seen it like 3-4 times. And I'm sure if Walt and Bill were alive and I had sent it to them, they probably would have noticed it. But it's just not like RQC people. You think about every streaming service, every theater, every critic that reviewed it, including, New Yorker like Steve Mitchell and people like that. Nobody really noticed it.
Sure.
And it was a situation where I remember a few years ago when we were releasing Death Wish, I watched and I was like, I saw a scene. I was like, well, that doesn't make, because I've seen Death Wish like 10 times. I was like, that looked a little weird. It's during the scene where Bronson is in the bar. There's on TV, they're playing the news about the vigilante killer and all of that stuff. There was like a cut of the press conference that popped in, and I was like, I don't think that was on the. And then when I kind of looked it up, I found out that it was on the Paramount Blu-ray. It was on the Paramount. I'm not sure if it was on the DVD, but I know it was not on the VHS.
Mm-hmm.
So we went back and fixed that. That was something that I caught at the last second, and I wish I would have not just scanned through the master to just look at the quality and watch the whole thing. But
this stuff can happen in so many ways. It can happen pretty easily in the restoration process. Like you've got the film laid out on a timeline
right.
And it's easy for if you have to make a change somewhere for some reason, it's easy for the wrong for something that shouldn't be there to get slotted into the timeline. It's also possible, like you said, that the element you were working, the original film element, maybe had footage that footage put in to replace a piece of missing missing or damaged footage.
The mastering house confirmed that it was on the film element, so they wouldn't. It's not something they did. It was just always on.
Well, if it was in the film, or you told me that it was an intermediate element, it was not the original camera negative.
Right. But Death Wish was, and that's why I was surprised. So again,
Did somebody bring this up, or
yeah, there was a little bit of
well, somebody spotted it when it was playing at IFC Center
and
for a while. I saw it there too.
And they confirmed it by going and finding an old version on eBay and I guess on YouTube or something.
Yeah, there's other versions.
So it was an issue that, like I said, we would look. It was like one of those. There's decisions you make as the head of a department or something like that, and this was one where I really wanted to do this from the right way.
Yeah, but if the footage doesn't exist, then you can't. Right?
Yeah.
If it wasn't in the original film element.
Right, but I think it will be fixed, but we'll see what happens. I think the streaming version will eventually probably be replaced.
Well,
and then I don't know when it comes to.
Shout out to our friends at Kino Film Collection. You should definitely own it and watch Night of the Juggler on physical, but it is also available to stream.
We should talk more about how
Kino
good a
Film
movie
Collection.
it is, not just talk about this.
Yeah,
I didn't notice anything. I watched it. I loved it.
Yeah, and it
You know
doesn't.
what?
It does not. It's like you said. I've seen the movie 3 or 4 times. I saw it at the IFC Center, and it didn't pop out to me as like something that was egregious, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
What is egregious, though?
It seems intentional.
What is egregious
Yeah.
is how I'm honestly not convinced that that's not Christian Bale running through New York City. That is, James Brolin looks more like Christian Bale than Christian Bale looks like Christian Bale.
Has Christian Bale ever been that hairy? Has he ever had?
Have they ever been in the same room? No, but they're obviously their age differences. Well, I don't know.
I don't think Christian Bale has been
been
thick beard like that at the movie.
I think
right?
his appearance has changed so much. I feel like he has been hairy at some point.
I know he's
with,
lost
like,
lots
that
of
same
weight for certain parts, and you know.
Maybe in that movie with Matthew McConaughey with the dragon.
American Hustle.
He may have had a beard in that.
No, maybe. I don't know.
Well, American Hustle, he had a bald head, and
But he was was he not hairy?
So
I think he was
that didn't occur to me, but now I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna watch.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look at. I want to see if I can see.
I think
I was thinking that the whole time.
Yeah, I don't see the resemblance that much, but you know,
Really?
he looks a lot like his son for sure, like Josh.
We're gonna have to bring up a visual in post production.
But let's just say, like, you getting Night of the Juggler. I mean, that is I described it many times as one of the great, you know, white whale titles. It was a title that hasn't been available, hasn't been in the marketplace legitimately for 40 years at least.
Yeah.
And it's a title that's had weird rights, you know, very convoluted rights issues, and that's why it hasn't been out until now. And people have been like clamoring for this title. So I mean, it's like such a coup for you to, you know, have gotten it.
You've known how many, you know, you've known me for a long time.
Yeah.
And you know, since you've known me, that I've talked about this film as something that I would love to release.
Yeah, and we all would.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I had so many people saying it to me. You're Fun City, because I you know, this is a great Fun City movie. It is a great, but you know,
Yeah.
So I'm just happy that somebody got it. I'm glad it was you.
Yeah.
If it wasn't going to be me, I'm glad it was you.
Well, the same. I would say the same here, if vice versa. So if I didn't get it and you somehow came and got it, I would have been very happy. So
no, I know you would. I know you would. But yeah, I mean, it played so well in the theater.
yeah, I went to the midnight screening, and we took a box of the 4K release, and people were surprised that we were giving it away. They were like, "Oh, how much?" I was like, "Oh, it's free." They were like, "Oh my God, this is the greatest screening I ever come."
Wow,
So we gave a box of it away, and
that's awesome.
so I went to the midnight screening. I had a great time. The audience reacted really positively to it, and in the theater, the people that were in the theater, a lot of them were big fans of the movie, so they were very happy to get free copies too. So, but we also have signed posters. Mr. James Brolin signed a few copies, which he just got one. We're gonna probably offer that to our fans on during the December sale, the next sale we have. So you buy a certain amount of discs, you get a free copy of.
You get a poster signed by James.
Yeah, you get a Night of the Juggler poster signed by James Brolin.
Pretty sweet, yeah. And I heard he was awesome. I heard he was out in L.A. at the American Cinematheque, and they had a great.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And he looks great.
Yeah, he looks great, and Barbara Streisand actually tweeted about it. So
yeah, I saw that.
She was proud of her husband's performance, and she said, "Yeah,
well, congrats on that.
It's without a doubt one of the essential James Brolin films, you know." So
and it's an essential. It is an essential made in New York.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Movie. I mean,
even like in the opening scene when he's like, "It's gonna be another goddamn New York kind of day" or something. I was like, man, that is just. It just encapsulates it so well.
Yes, it's heightened, of course. It's heightened, but there's a lot of truth in a lot of those.
Yeah. Well,
the stereotypes, the characters.
You know, I was a kid. You know, I guess that movie was made in 1980 or whatever. I was around 10 or 11 years old. I remember the first time I went to Manhattan by myself and how scary it was. Just riding the train with all the graffiti on it and all that stuff. So I know that. These movies, you know, they always push it a little bit further than it is. But New York was during this period when this was made and Fort Apache, the Bronx was made and stuff like that. New York was pretty dangerous. You just had to make sure not to go to certain neighborhoods, especially when it got darker. You made sure you left.
Also, it has but there's a humor to it also, which is very New York.
Yeah.
It's kind of self-deprecating and kind of like Richard Castellano.
Yeah.
He's got he's the cop, who's like,
he's so great in that. He's like,
like when he's in the yogurt place and he starts, when the guy starts telling, it's like fermented,
it's like
rotten.
a disease.
But yeah, it's full of, but also just the people they meet. Like there's so many great characters that are just only in New York kind of characters, and they're kind of. Yeah, there's a lot of it's heightened, and there's a lot of kind of grotesque characters, but also very.
It also speaks to a lot of like
Dan Hiddy is so over the top great.
Yeah,
the corrupt cop. There's so many themes that it also explores, like class war, class tension, racial tension. Whatever the socio-political climate was at the time.
The juggling of the books were the title of the movie. Everybody's like, what's the juggler? Right? Everybody's like, but remember he has that one scene where he explains it, where he's like, they're juggling the books. They're not going to fool me. Or what's what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he was crazy, but he wasn't lying completely. This actually kind of happened. Where
no, he's not. He's not. The people were hired to burn those books.
Yeah, and they were trying to push out. They were trying to push out the the African Americans and the Latinos from places in the Bronx and all this stuff. This really happened. So it was there was one. Ronald Reagan famously actually went to one of these places and did a whole where he was talking to people, and it was like one of the ones that really. It didn't work out for him. Let's say he was planning to go there and talk how he's gonna fix everything, and they like ripped into him, and they had to leave early and stuff like that. I think they kind of mentioned that during the Ronald Reagan documentary on HBO.
Oh, interesting.
But anyway, let's move on from that. So.
Okay.
Well, thank you for explaining that, Frank. Do you want to comment on the Hollywood Reporter's recent greatest sports films of all time list?
Yeah,
I know
the Hollywood Reporter did a list of what they consider the top 25. I guess they asked a lot of critics and they compiled a list of 25 all-time sports movies, and I had a lot of issues with that list. So first of all, this is me. This is that I'm saying not everybody could think about. When I think of sports movies, I don't consider like a movie like Raging Bull, which is a great movie. I'm not saying it's not a great movie. I don't really think of that as a sports movie. It's more of a character study, of this flawed human being. And there's boxing scenes in the film, but the same thing with the setup. It's a great film noir, which has some boxing and stuff like that in it. I personally think
it's a movie about sports, but it's not a sports movie.
Right. And then the documentaries, that's kind of cheating, putting like Hope Dreams and stuff like that. Sports movies to me, lack of a better word, is like, when you think about a movie like Bull Durham, or you think of a movie like Best
Field
of
of
Times.
Dreams.
Like Field of Dreams. Best of Times to me is like the traditional type of a sports movie where it's about a game, about
on this shelf.
Yeah, it's somewhere in the shelf back here. But that's like to me the kind of like the typical kind of a film. But I was also surprised of what films were not made the cut, the top 25. One of the greatest top 5 sports movies of all time is The Longest Yard, and for that not to be in the top 25, I mean, it just does not make any sense.
So that's one of your top 5 favorite.
It's one of my top 5 favorites. The Naturalist, to me, I know it's not. Some people disagree with me, but I think it's the greatest baseball movie of all time. And for that not to be on the list was also blasphemy. Field of Dreams was not on the list. I mean, I could understand to a point where Field of Dreams is not on there because it's technically, it's more of, there's baseball, sports is in the heart of it, but it's more of a father and son type of a story and stuff like that. North Dallas 40, how is that not on the list? And then you have great comedies like Caddyshack or Kingpin, and I also
like
think about the Rocky. I mean, Rocky, I think was on their list, but
it was on there.
Yeah, it was on there.
Yeah.
But I also think about Rocky as the franchise. You had Rocky and Rocky 2, which is like Rocky 2 is pretty much a continuation of Rocky. It's shot for it looks the same, it has the same feel, it's great. Then you have Rocky 3 and 4, which are like 1980s steroids. Those movies are
definitely
like,
Rocky 4.
Yeah, there, but both movies, 3 sets it up and 4 takes it to another level. But those movies are They're great on their own. They're like not really. They don't really. Rocky Balboa is a great finale. I hate Rocky V, so I know that Eric Wilkinson loves that movie. He tries to defend it. I'm just like, I don't know how. But
Got to be somebody, huh?
But Rocky Balboa, I think, is like an incredible, yeah, like
Good. It was a good
like closure, like closing the whole
until he did until he did.
and then like until they did Creed, right? So,
All right, so now you've named like how many movies? Are we supposed to come up with like 5 sports movies?
well, I was thinking about those are the ones that came to me.
Okay, so wait.
Longest Yard,
Longest
the Natural, the No Dallas 40, Kingpin. I would also put, it's Caddyshack or Tin Cup. They're both really good.
Okay, wait, now you're at 6? How many?
So I would say Caddyshack. I think Caddyshack has to be there. So Caddyshack, Longest Yard, The Natural, No Dallas 40, and Kingpin. Those are the 5 that, without a doubt, I'm shocked that did not make the list. So of the top 25, we're not talking about top 10. We're not talking about top 5.
And also, you're talking about it's your favorite. It's your favorite. It's not necessarily the best. It's what are your favorite.
Right. But I used to talk about each sport. So in football, for me, Longest Yard was my favorite. But if you want a professional football, you would say No Dallas 40.
Okay.
Baseball was always The Natural for me, and hockey. Slapshot was on the list or not?
It was, yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really,
I think that was.
It was like number 22. So Slapshot is like, to me, the greatest hockey movie. And then there's, of course,
These lists are designed like
to piss you off.
Yeah, there's no. Everybody's going to say, "Oh, how can this not be on there?" Or "How come that's on there?" Right? I mean, that's why I don't even look at.
And a lot of new.
I see these and I don't. I see people getting upset on.
And I
don't.
I have to be honest. A lot of the newer movies I haven't seen, so I cannot technically say anything about them.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the newer the newer sports movies that I've seen that I actually really liked was a movie called Goon, and that didn't make the list. I thought that was really great. I saw that, like, I don't know when it came out. So, but anyway, you go ahead.
Well, what do you have, Alicia?
Yeah, well, I have some movies that I was surprised didn't make the list, but they're not actually my list. Like, I was surprised Remember the Titans wasn't on the list, or Rudy, or The Sandlot,
Yeah, I'm
or
surprised those
Friday
weren't on
Night
the list.
Lights. But my list, I think my list is going to piss Frank off even more because
Oh, let's hear it.
they're not considered sports movies. Like, I have Fight Club on my list because fighting to me, like boxing or anything else, that's kind of a sport.
I think
have a
it's a
documentary.
little bit. You're stretching it. You're stretching it.
I'm stretching it. I'm definitely stretching
Okay.
it. I have Free Solo, the documentary about Alex Honnold, who climbed El Capitan. He climbed 3,000 feet with no
Oh
equipment.
yeah, I think I saw that.
Like,
I think I saw
that was-
one. If I didn't see that one, I saw one of the ones that was about that.
You may have seen the Dawn Wall, maybe, because that
That's
was
what
another.
I
They
saw.
were
Yeah,
both,
the
like,
Dawn Wall. Yeah,
They both came out around the same time and both won a ton of awards.
Yeah, that was really good. That one was really good.
That one was really good too. But this one, like, if you're afraid of heights, I don't know, like, if I would even recommend it.
Oh,
It's just
I totally am. I totally
so
am.
harrowing.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that he could have died at any moment during filming, the
It's
ethics
crazy.
behind it, it's
And
very complicated.
It's in IMAX
beautiful.
too, right? Or I think I saw the Dawn Wall in IMAX. Even it was like
I don't know. I think I saw it at home, but that would be
it was
amazing to
massive.
experience it
Yeah,
in
it
IMAX.
was really cool. But yes, I'm afraid of heights. But I was like, I'm happy to just be here, comfortable in my seat. But yeah, it was impressive.
But it is a very good documentary. I have Jerry Maguire, which is a little bit more of a
That's a sports movie.
expected
That's a sports
something
movie.
that could be
Yeah.
on that list. I'm surprised wasn't on that list because it's Cameron Crowe. I have Shaolin Soccer because I love Stephen Chow.
Okay.
And then I have Happy Gilmore because it's a nostalgic pick for me. I was obsessed with it, when it came out as a kid. So
Yeah, but to me,
that's my
Caddyshack is like, when it comes to golf,
Well, they're both beloved, right?
they are.
Golf.
Hey, I released Happy Gilmore. I love Happy
I'm
Gilmore.
sure you did very well with it too,
but,
right?
but Caddyshack to me is like the greatest golf movie of all time. Tin Cup is a great little film. It's like people forget how good that film is and how great of a performance Costner gives, and Don Johnson is great as the villain.
Yeah. Actually, I never saw Tin Cup.
You should see it.
But it was kind of like a golf, like Bull Durham in a way. Right?
Yeah, it was Ron Shelton. He's like
It's the same. Right,
pretty much most of his movies are sports movies. White Man Can't Jump, and he did Cobb. He did that boxing movie with the Antonio Banderas and Woody Harrelson. So he's done a lot of sports movies. So But anyway, go ahead.
Jonathan, what's your list?
So so what I did was I just like put a bunch on my notes because I just figured, oh, well, maybe I didn't know how we were going to do it, if we were going to go like round and do, one each and move around and not repeat stuff, but maybe we'll just repeat stuff. I'm going to say some stuff that's on that sports list because I made my list and then I looked at the Hollywood Reporter list and I saw some of the stuff.
That's fair.
Some of the stuff, some of my titles were on there, and it doesn't bother me to, but since I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains, I have some titles that are connected to it because that's a Rust Belt movie. It's a movie that's like set in Western Pennsylvania, which is kind of
Oh,
like.
I grew up in Western Pennsylvania.
Oh, this is great. You're gonna love this then.
Steel Town.
So Steel Towns, exactly. So Fabulous Stains is written by Nancy Dowd, and it's set in a fictional town called Charlestown, which is really Johnstown, Pennsylvania, which is a steel town, industry town, and but they fictionalized it and called in Charlestown. And if you watch Slapshot, which is another one that I'm going to say put on my list of favorite sports movies, and it's also on that list. Slapshot is set in Charlestown, Pennsylvania, also written by Nancy Dowd. So she wrote Stains and Slapshot, and they're both sort of set in the same fictional, based on Johnstown, Pennsylvania, Rust Belt town. So I wanted to make that connection. And then another sports film you didn't mention, I'm surprised you didn't mention it. It's not on the list. I think it's really underrated football movie. You mentioned Friday Night Lights. Well, I'm going to mention All the Right Moves with Tom Cruise.
That's a really good one.
1983.
That's a very good one.
Which is kind of like a proto. I've seen some people say it's like the original Friday Night Lights. I never saw Friday Night Lights, so.
No, there's no doubt about it. I mean,
But it's like Tom Cruise is living in this dying steel town, which is filmed in Johnstown, and it's about him clashing with the coach played by Craig T. Nelson, who is seriously Craig T. Nelson really does that intimidating thing really well. Like he's really, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, without that.
Like kind of scary. Like the tension between these two guys is really.
Yeah, and then John Voight does it in
Friday Night Lights.
No, there was another one. What was the one with the guy from Dawson's Creek in it?
Varsity Blues.
Oh, Varsity Blues.
Varsity Blues.
Also didn't see that one either. But
which I saw, which I think is also very similar to All the Right Moves.
Well, All the Right Moves, I think it's unfortunately a Fox title, so people are like, where is that movie? Well, it's Fox, so of course it's out of print, and probably, maybe it's streaming, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that one doesn't get talked about enough. I really like that.
It's really good, I agree.
And also just about the whole, like I mentioned, well, you're from there, and I think these movies are really like also about the place, they really portray the people and like that sort of, it's a kind of
setting is always,
the
like
blue collar working
character
class setting. And Slapshot has that obviously too. And then another one, which is not set in Western Pennsylvania, which is one of my all-time favorite movies, also on the Hollywood Reporter list. Sorry, Frank. Breaking Away, which is the Bloomington, Indiana set movie with the four guys, the working class guys that are in between, sort of in that they just graduated high school, don't really know where they're going. They're not college kids. And but one kid is obsessed with cycling, so that's where the sports part comes in. So Breaking Away has, it's coming of age, but and also just really really authentic kind of local color. Is that your phone?
Yes.
Silence that.
Suck about it.
Anyway, Breaking Away is that's a great one. I could watch that movie.
Well,
I could watch that one on repeat. Have you seen that one, Alicia, or no?
I have not. But apparently critics agree with you. The Hollywood Reporter.
It's pretty high up on their list. I did see, I was kind of surprised it was actually higher than I thought. But
it's a very good film.
I think it's one of the best movies it was 1970.
Yeah, I think it's a very good film. I think it's a little overrated, but I think it's still a very good film.
There you have.
So, but it is on their list.
So
it's on their list. My thing was like 5 films that was clearly not on their list.
Yeah, but see, that's because you looked at I didn't look at it before. Yeah. I was just coming up with my list, but I'll come up with some others that are not on.
Slapshot would have been on my list of top.
Here's another one nobody talks about, and it's not on the list. It's also I'm doing a theme here. It's also a Rust Belt movie, kind of like Ohio, Western Pennsylvania road movie. All the Marbles. You've seen All the Marbles?
Yeah, that's a very good.
Which is Robert
I don't know that
Aldrich's last film, starring Peter Falk as like a manager of two lady wrestlers, and it's kind of like a road movie where they're going and going to all these kind of like rundown kind of
that's
honky tonk kind
That
of
sounds fun.
venues, and
I would watch the hell out of that.
Yeah. It's all women wrestlers.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was around. That's one of those movies that. Same thing with Breaking Away. They're all like kind of like post Rocky movies. They're all movies that kind of these. There were a lot of movies that came out that were not necessarily boxing movies, but like movies that were inspirational sports kind of stories. And even Burt Young. I think Burt Young is in All the Marbles too. Burt Young, of course, who's Paulie in the Rocky movies. I would have Rocky as one of my favorites, but again, it's kind of like a obvious choice.
Have you seen Warrior? Speaking of Rust Belt films and a movie that almost made my list.
I think wait, which one is Warrior? Because I think there were like
Tom Hardy. It's a little
with
more
the two
more
brothers,
recent.
right?
Yeah, two brothers. It takes place in Pittsburgh, I believe. It's Tom Hardy and Joel Egerton.
Oh, I did see
and
that one.
they
I
fight
like
each
that
other.
One. I like that one. But wasn't there
that was pretty
there another one with brothers that like around the same time? Like, was there another?
Oh yeah, it was like Jake Gyllenhaal and no, was it?
Or was it Christian Bale in one of them?
No, that's
yeah,
talking
Christian
about the
Bale,
movie
the
about
fighter.
Mickey Ward. Yeah, about
The
Mickey
Fighter.
Ward.
Yes.
Yeah,
See,
yeah,
that's what I'm
Christian
saying.
Bale.
Those two,
Mark Wahlberg and
I think I saw both of those movies,
Mark
and they were around the same time.
I did watch the Mark
and
Wahlberg
I've kind of confused them in my head. I don't know how many I've mentioned, but I'll just mention a couple others. Personal Best is another favorite of mine. Personal favorite. It's also on the list. I don't know if Vision Quest is on there. I love Vision Quest.
I don't think it is.
I Was Never a Wrestler. It's a movie. It's like one of the only movies about wrestling that's, I mean, not like WWF style wrestling, but Greco-Roman
Like
wrestling.
Olympic wrestling.
But with Matthew Modine, and great soundtrack, and definitely again a post Rocky, post Karate Kid kind of movie. I don't know how many I've mentioned. I'll also say another boxing movie that also I think is on the list. Fat City. Fat City is to me like a great. It's one of the best kind of new Hollywood era films. Later film directed by John Huston, and great Stacy Keach performance as like a totally going nowhere fighter, and Jeff Bridges as the young guy coming up. You've seen that one?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So I don't know. Do I have any other picks, or should I? Are we good with sports movies at this point?
I think we're good. I mean, you could mention another one if you want. Just
do you have your horror list prepared as well?
Oh, I've got horror too. I have a lot. I just figured like so we wouldn't just so we wouldn't have too many repeats. Yeah. So yeah, let's move on to the horror.
So yeah, since this is coming out like right around Halloween, I figured it would be fun to talk horror movies as well. So yeah, let's hear them.
So I've said before, and I know you think it's.
I know what Frank's
The Shining is my favorite horror film of all time.
Yeah, I think I already kind of, without knowing
what did you say?
I said something along the lines because he was saying he was saying if somebody picks such a Raging Bull as their favorite sports movie, that it's kind of like, what'd you say? Just kind of, I don't know, would you say kind of boring or what?
Yeah, well, to me, first of all, I have it. See, to me,
a safe choice. I don't know, and I said that's like
more
somebody
drama.
picking The Shining.
Yeah, I'm a very much a genre person, and to me,
Yeah, but you're not so much a horror person,
right? But when I think about real sports movies, I don't think Raging Bull is different. It's like I said, it's a classic. I don't think it's the best Scorsese film. I think it's better than Goodfellas, which I also don't think is best. Taxi Driver is my favorite. I've said that to you before.
Yeah.
It's my all-time favorite Scorsese film. But I just don't think. Like Hoop Dreams is a great documentary. I'm not saying, but I cannot put it in my favorite sports movies. OJ's documentary that's on the list.
Right.
It's an incredible documentary.
Right. I know what you're saying. I wasn't thinking of documentaries.
Yeah. So when I'm thinking about that, I know I kind of looked at your list. You had the setup on there, which I mentioned being kind of a film noir and
Right.
boxing is an easy target when it comes to making good sports movies, because it's that you could there's the crime aspect of it, there's the mob aspect of it, and all that stuff that you could put into the story. So you had $1 Million Baby, and there's all other one I think that was on their list.
It was on their list, yeah.
Although we kind of in the bottom. But,
All right, but let's go back to horror. You got The Shining.
So without a doubt, if I want to.
I'm not. No disrespect.
Right.
It's great. It obviously is.
I'm not going to include serial killer movies as horror. Silence of the Lambs, Seven. They're great, and they probably would be my favorite.
More like
types
thrillers.
Yeah, they're thrillers. And
You're like. What do you like? Supernatural more? What's?
I mean, to me, horror has to be kind of like unrealistic. Supernatural. To me, Jason. Halloween. That's a horror film. Ghost stories are horror films.
Okay.
But then again, I kind of also don't want to put movies like Alien and Aliens and The Thing, which are my favorite of,
because they're too much like science fiction.
Yeah, they will make my
They're hybrid.
they make my favorite sci-fi films. If I had to go as horror sci-fi, I would say Alien. Even though I like Aliens more than Alien, I think Alien is probably more scary.
It's more horror.
Yeah, more horror.
Of the two, yeah.
And The Thing also.
But those are not on your list.
Right, they're not on my list.
So The Shining's on your list.
Shining is on my list.
All right.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Which is
Oh,
the
that's
most
on mine too.
relentless, crazy, just the original Halloween.
See your list.
So
I'm
ahead
trying
of
not
its
to see it.
time.
The original Halloween.
Halloween, yeah, it's 3.
And then I have a hard time with the rest of the list. I have to probably, if I had to pick 2 more, I would say The Exorcist.
Okay.
And Rosemary's Baby.
Okay.
And American Werewolf in London would be
5B.
5B. So.
Okay, that's a pretty solid list.
Is that in order? Did you just read those in order?
No, I kind of wrote all those down.
So I'm not big. I don't like ranking stuff either. Like,
Yeah,
I'll be like,
Yeah, let's do it in no
I would
particular
rather
order.
do an alphabetical listing, and then but like I said, from the newer horror films, Let the Right One In. That was the one that really stood out for me.
The Swedish one or the American one?
the Swedish,
the original one.
the original one.
That one, yeah. I mean, I actually think they're both good.
Yeah.
All right, Jonathan, do you want to go next?
Yeah. So should I just read like 5 or?
Yeah, just go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go. Okay.
And then we could chat.
Okay. I'm gonna do ones that you didn't do. I'm gonna try to do ones you didn't do. I'm gonna go back to Western Pennsylvania again, and I'm gonna.
You're not from that area. Were you obsessed with that?
No, but it just turns out that my
Go
favorite
Stillers.
Dawn of the Dead. I'm going Dawn of the Dead. Monroeville Mall.
Oh.
George Romero.
Oh my God. Romero, that's right. He's from
Is
Monroeville.
this is the middle film.
The original Dawn of the Dead.
The middle film, after Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
First there was Night of the Living Dead, now Dawn of the Dead. That's how the trailers went. So I get Dawn of the Dead. That's just been since I was a kid. I saw some of these I saw, way too young. But that's always been a strong favorite for me. How about can we say, let's see here. Phantasm. Phantasm is another one for me. Also,
Actually, I haven't seen that one.
Phantasm is Don Coscarelli.
Yeah, that's a pretty great one.
That's kind of it's horror. It's also got a little science. It does have it's got some science fiction in it.
Well, but it's pretty scary.
But it's a nightmare. It's a movie. It's
scared the shit out of me as a little kid.
and it's also got coming of age, and I love coming of age movies, and it's got that too because the main character is like he's a teenage boy, like just getting over the deaths of his parents, and it's kind of like one of those: is this all a bad dream, or is this all in the kid's head?
Yeah.
Or is
I need
there...
to add that to my list to watch.
Yeah, it's so much fun. If you haven't seen it, I'm excited for you to be able to see it, honestly.
I love
another
horror,
one that has been a favorite of mine since I was a kid. So Phantasm, Dawn of the Dead. Another one, I was kind of going between a couple here from this filmmaker, but Dead Alive, the Peter Jackson film.
That was on my outtakes.
Yeah. Also, well, the original title was Brain Dead. Dead Alive is what they called it here when it came out. It's a horror. That's a horror comedy. Like that to me is
does it still hold the record for the amount of fake blood used in a film?
I don't know. That's a good question.
It did for a while. It held the record.
I don't know
how
do they quantify that, but but I believe it.
American Werewolf in London is kind of a horror comedy too.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a great one also. So I got Dead Alive. I've got Suspiria. Did I say Suspiria?
Oh, that's on my list too.
Okay, well we can both have it because
Yay.
yeah, yeah.
Gorgeous,
I mean,
gorgeous film.
gorgeous film. Another one that like also one of the best. I've seen that. I've been lucky enough to see that in a theater a few times and seeing a really good print with amazing sound. Like that movie is so loud. You know, the Goblin.
I got to
It's
see
a
it with
beautiful looking
Goblin.
film. It's a beautiful looking film.
It's all about the environment.
And I think it's a classic. It's a
I
masterpiece.
know where he's going. I know,
But I just don't think it's that scary.
that's fine. That's fine.
I got to see that with Goblin playing live.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's like Mask of Red
Outdoors,
Death.
yeah.
Mask of
Okay.
Red.
That was
You one-upped me there. I haven't seen it with. I've seen Goblin live, but not. I haven't seen them playing in front of Suspiria. That's awesome.
Mask of Red
It
Death
was
is
amazing.
a beautiful film, but it's not really that scary, you know. So that's the only thing I would say.
Well,
Have you
I
seen
guess,
the
sure.
remake of the
I actually
Suspiria?
haven't seen the remake. I heard kind of. I mean, I did
It's
hear
actually pretty good.
some good things about it. Yeah.
It's
Also,
there's one really brutal scene.
Really?
I was actually kind of surprised. Yeah.
but now, am I right in thinking or in my understanding that they kind of like where Suspiria, the original, is all about those really garish colors that the remake is kind of more like desaturated, or is that not?
It's a little more muted.
Muted, yeah.
It still has that kind of 70s feel.
Mm-hmm.
It feels very vintage, but it's not nearly as garish, no.
Let's see here. I just rewatched. I have to have a John Carpenter on here. I don't think I have one yet. I just rewatched The Fog again, and that's another one to me that's okay. Maybe not super scary like you just said about Suspiria, but it's like it's all about a mood, right? Like it's all about the environment and the music and
So would you rank it above Halloween or no?
what the Fog?
Yeah.
I mean, they're just to me it's like
What was the thing?
it's not out. They're your apples to oranges here. Like they're just totally different. I love The Thing. I didn't mention The Thing because we said it's kind of science fiction.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of not going with The Thing. The Fog is more pure ghost story.
The Fog is scarier
that's-
than Suspiria.
But it doesn't, it's scary without showing a lot.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it doesn't have a ton of gore. Like it's suggestive,
Right, and that could be very psychological. Scares are really good.
So-
which
Yeah.
is great. I like slow burn. I definitely like stuff that is more, suggested and
Right.
less is more. I say that too much.
Candyman is really good. Candyman is one that I love.
Candyman is very good.
The original Candyman.
Okay, you're adding another to your list. I didn't have that on mine. But it's good. It is good. You're right. That one's really actually pretty unsettling, Candyman.
Yeah.
Like really.
And
I
it's
haven't
it's rare to have like an urban setting.
Exactly.
Like I feel like that's
Yeah.
yeah.
They did actually in the 90s was when they started doing movies like that. Like People Under the Stairs was one of them, right?
Yeah.
Tales from the Hood.
That's one.
But that was definitely like an early 90s thing they had going there.
That had a great score too, Candyman. I remember that.
How about Night of the Hunter? Can we call that horror? Is that
I think if a child watched it, they would be scared.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, it has a horror theme to it, but yeah, Night of the Hunter is a classic. But
Yeah, I think
When I-
it's got a ghost, but it
Yeah.
kind of has a
yeah.
ghost story a little bit.
But I think when it comes to like older 50s and 40s horror films, I would say The Haunting and
The Haunting. How about this one?
Yeah,
This is one I like a lot. I've only seen it actually once, and I saw it in the theater. It's very highly regarded. Carnival of Souls. You seen that one?
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
That sounds really familiar.
It's like a black and white, regionally made, early '60s, really like low budget, independent, super like
Yeah.
independent movie. I think it is in the Criterion.
yeah, Criterion put it out.
It's like where a woman is in a car accident, and then you're kind of seeing like she's in a really bad car accident in the beginning of the movie, and everybody in the car dies except for her, and then it's kind of like I don't want to give too much away, but
I added it.
It's a classic.
it's one of those movies. It's another one of those movies of like what's actually really happening here. like what's in this person, what's going on in
I like
somebody's
those
head.
mind bending, psychological horror. Yeah.
But super, that one's also like super atmospheric and one of those movies that just does an amazing amount with very little, little resources. So I don't know how many I mentioned. I'll mention one more. One of my favorite Canadian tax shelter made in Canada movies, where it's like you don't really know where it's taking place, but it's actually made in Canada. I think you released it at one point, Studio Classics. Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane.
That's a creepy movie.
That's one of my favorite, creepy.
Adding that to my list.
Only in the 70s kind of movies with a really young Jodie Foster. It's actually around the same time that she was a Taxi Driver, and Martin Sheen playing just about the, one of the
most despicable,
creepiest scumbags he's ever played. But yeah, that's another one. Not a lot of explicit gore. It's more
psychological.
It's more about the atmosphere, and
it's not. You wouldn't call that a typical horror film, but it is. It has, without a doubt, there's a lot of scares in it.
It definitely, I think, would I think it would have. I think it still would go in the horror section, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane. I don't know how many I gave, but there's a smattering.
That's a very good list.
Let's hear yours.
I mean, I have some that are probably like genre mashes, like Mandy. Have you seen Mandy?
I still have not seen Mandy.
Panos Cosmatos. Highly recommend it. It's Nicolas Cage and Andrea Riseborough. I would say, if it was categorized online or whatever, it would be under horror, but it's also a thriller. It's very trippy. You don't really know what decade it is. I think it takes place in the 70s. There's acid loving monsters. It's a revenge tale. There's some parts that are beautifully animated. It's just like a feast for your eyes, an assault on the senses, and I love it. It's one of my favorite movies, not just horror movies, but favorite movies of all time.
Wow. Okay.
So definitely recommend it. It's Spectre Vision. Put that out.
Okay.
I also had
Texas. We worked with years ago. I'm looking at the poster across from us right now. Girl, I think Girl
Walks
Home Alone at Night. I think we maybe did some stuff with Spectre Vision. It's several years back, so I can't really remember. But yeah, I didn't know they did Mandy. That was them.
Yeah, definitely recommend that if you haven't seen it. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre, definitely on my list. So you guys, your era was like 60s, 70s, 80s. Mine is like the 90s and early 2000s. Have you seen Suicide Club, the Japanese horror?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
I haven't. No, I've seen some of his other films, but I haven't seen that one.
So like I had a lot of different sets of criteria, like scare factor, nostalgia, just filmmaking in itself. And this is probably one that just is so scary and creepy to me that I can barely sit through it. I've seen it multiple times, but every time it's like a task. So if you haven't, the trailer, it's not even a trailer, it's like a teaser, is a fax machine in like a dimly lit room with a little girl's like hair coming out. Like this long hair comes out of the fax machine. That's the teaser. It's just so creepy, but so good. So if you haven't seen that,
like feeling, you want that something about it being a task is also attractive in some way.
Yeah, it's like a challenge. It's like one of those things where it's so creepy, but you can't look away. You're still completely captivated by it, and it's also kind of like hokey in some ways. It's like very unbelievable in some ways. Like the opening scene, just look up the opening scene. It's ridiculous. It's a mass suicide. But there's also, it's hokey, but very sadistic. It conjures a lot of feelings. I think you have to watch it and report back. I want to hear what you think of this
Suicide Club.
Suicide Club by Shion Sono.
Got it.
I don't know if you would argue if this is a horror movie, but this is one of my nostalgia picks, The Crow.
I would still
Classic
put that
90s.
as horror, right? Or what you're saying?
Frank is
that's like an action film.
Okay,
It's more of a comic book,
but it is kind of a ghost
action
story,
thriller.
right?
Yeah, if you
horror?
consider that horror, then Ghost Rider is horror too. No, I don't think so. So
Okay, fine. So maybe that's not horror, but I
Well,
mean, just for the
listen, that's
soundtrack
his
alone, I
opinion.
just
Also, that's only you don't have to just you don't have to just say, "Oh, Frank said it, so that makes it so."
is there a part of The Crow that is scary at all? I don't think it is. So
I don't. You know what? I don't think
you
I've
know what
actually
you know what
watched The
that's
Crow
true.
in 30 years. So, I
yeah, he is a ghost character, but there's nothing scary about the movie. So that's
It's
why
not scary, but it's goth.
it doesn't.
it has to have a little creepiness at least. Like I can understand the Suicide Club. I can understand that, but
Okay.
That's definitely
yeah,
horror.
yeah.
Okay, so maybe The Crow is not horror, but I just had to put it on there because and I
Listen,
love the
you do you
soundtrack.
here, okay? We're not. There's no.
I'm just giving you my opinion.
I'm gonna judge him. I'll give him shit, but only because he's doing it. Just to give it back to him a little bit.
I also had Get Out.
Okay,
I know
that's
that's very recent. Just because I mean I do think that is a different kind of fear. I think that movie achieved a different kind of fear. It's the fear of being not white in a white space, and I think it did it so brilliantly. And I think it was groundbreaking. It changed the
Yeah,
game.
it's a great film. There's no doubt. It's from the newer horror films. It's one that I really enjoyed. And I remember going to Draft House to hang out with Mr. Bill Lustig, and he had just seen it that day, and he was like, "Frank, we got to go see this movie if you have time after that." I was like, "No, I'm too tired to see two movies back to back." He's like, "It's great, you got to see it." So I remember that he was like so enthusiastic about it. Like he was like, "Oh, it's like I've never seen anything like it." And so yeah,
So you watched it with Bill?
no, I didn't. I ended up watching it later by myself. So, but I do think it's a really good film without a doubt. So
I think that's gonna go down in like a lot of top
I
100
haven't seen the
lists.
other films he made. Were those good? Us
They're
and
not. They don't really. I mean, that one honestly set a bar so high. He can't even really,
you've seen Get
meet it
Out?
again
I've seen Get
himself.
Out, but I still haven't seen the
The
follow. I
most
don't think I've
recent
seen the
one.
follow up ones. Yeah, I don't think I've seen any of them. But I
The other
liked
ones
Get
are okay.
Out.
Us is pretty good. But yeah, Get Out is great. I also had on my like outtakes Begotten, just because
Haven't seen
it's got to
Begotten. Have
talk
you?
about Begotten.
What?
Really, I'm
No.
surprised. It's experimental. A lot of people consider it the scariest horror movie. It's silent. It's black and white. It's very, very lo-fi, very DIY. The main premise is God disemboweling himself. That's like all you really need to know. It's creepy imagery overload, basically. I also had the original Ringu, the Japanese Ringu.
Mm-hmm.
That was really scary to me. Ichi the Killer, which you may or may not consider horror. That's also kind of on the fence. The Exorcist, Suspiria, and then another nostalgia pick, The Craft.
Okay, so
Came out
here's
when
the
I was
thing.
12. So it was
Ichi
formative
the
for
Killer
me.
is very disturbing,
It's
but
just
I
yeah.
don't think I don't think it's a horror film. What was the one he did with the Audition?
Audition.
Audition is more of a horror film, I think.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah, and the guy
That's
that did
fair.
Ringo, did he also direct Dark Water or no?
I'm not sure.
The
Hideo Nakata.
the original Dark Water was also pretty scary. I remember that. So there was a whole period of all these Japanese horror films that were coming out. So
Yeah, he did do Dark Water.
yeah.
Yeah, Asian horror I think is scarier than any other kind of horror. But that's just my own personal
It also
opinion.
and they get remade a lot too in Hollywood, right? Didn't they?
They
Because
do.
they remade The Ring, right?
Yeah, they also
The
made Dark
Ring,
Water
The
with Jennifer
Grudge.
Connelly.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, so thanks for sharing your lists. I just want to make sure we get to some audience questions before we have to wrap up.
Yep. Let's do that.
Okay, let's see. As usual, we have a bunch for Frank and we have some for Jonathan as well. So I'll start with one for Jonathan, from Sam J. I love that you released Racing with the Moon. How did that get on your radar?
Oh, well, I was that was a movie that I really I saw it a lot on HBO when it was one of those movies that was in heavy rotation. And I was a big fan of Sean Penn, like when I was growing up, like from Fast Times, sort of going off of Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He sort of became, one of my favorite, if not my favorite actor, in those kind of like
Bad Boys too.
Bad Boys and Racing with the Moon and At Close Range and Taps was another one and Carlito's Way later on. I basically just kind of saw everything he did for a while. So that's how racing. And I always loved, like I said, I've always loved coming of age movies. So I just thought, it's just really well made, very kind of a throwback kind of movie. And and when we were talking with Paramount, I was just kind of surprised that it hadn't been picked up at this point, just because I think it has a great cast. It has a lot of things and so much talent behind the camera also. Just a really, I just think what it's trying to do, it achieves, it's I like kind of small stories, like more realistic kind of stuff. So, and this is one of those movies that, feels like, it could have really happened. So yeah, I'm glad to get a question on Racing with the Moon, because it kind of still gets slept on, I have to say, of all the stuff we've put out. Like, I still feel like it's still kind of like flying under the radar. So
yeah, I've always liked the film. I'm kind of the opposite when it comes to film. I kind of like escapism. I like not thinking about life too much and stuff like that when I'm watching movies. And when I'm a lot of coming of age and stuff like that makes me think of my childhood and takes me to my brother, my dad, and all that stuff who passed away. And so for me, it's always like I rather, especially now, especially in these days, because when I was younger, I used to watch stuff. I used to see everything.
Yeah.
But now when I'm watching films, I'm kind of looking for stuff to just.
I will say,
kind of like
it is a period movie. I didn't say it. Racing with the Moon is like a World War II set movie, and it's set in like this really beautiful, picturesque northern coastal California town. So there is some escapism there, because it's, at least unless you grew up there, or
right,
unless that's your time period. Anyway, so I don't know if that was a long-winded answer, but that's how Racing with the Moon happened. Just a movie from my childhood, basically. So.
This question is for Frank from Haro Guljar. There's a lot of movies in the public domain which never get a DVD release. Is there any chance Kino can get these movies and clean it up and release them on Blu-ray?
We've done that in the past, usually teaming up with like the Library of Congress or UCLA or places like that. Once in a while, we've done them independently. Or once in a while we've done them through the studios. When we did Scarlet Street, we got permission from Universal to get access to their film elements, and that was not a license deal. That was more of just getting a permission to access, and in return we delivered them a beautiful transfer. The problem with public domain films is a lot of the original film elements are still with the studios. In many cases, not all cases, but in many cases. So for us to do a really nice restoration of a PD film, we would have to get the film elements from the studio themselves. And in some cases, some studios are willing to give us access to them, and some don't. So that's the main reason.
Even if it's in the.
Yeah, so
even if it's in the public
they're film
domain?
elements,
Oh, wow,
so that just because they're public domain, that doesn't mean that.
And you still have the cost. You still have the cost of the restoration cost.
Yeah, the scanning and the mastering and all of that. So just because it's public domain, that doesn't mean that everybody has access to the camera negative or whatever that's with the studio, because they own that. So
there's a lot of movies that are public domain, and the materials are not anywhere.
Right. Some of them are lost. Some have been restored from good surviving prints. Like if you have a print, like a pristine print, especially if it's a nitrate print or something like that, then you have a very good chance of creating a beautiful master. So it's a lot of work involved. So we would do it. If the right opportunity came up, we would do it. But it's not that many opportunities available to us. So.
Got it. I think we have time for two more questions, quick ones. This one is also for Jonathan. I know from Paul Ryan. I noticed on your Facebook page when you acquired Ladies and Gentlemen, The Fabulous Stains, you also asked Paramount about the similarly orphaned Young Lust, but were told by Paramount that they no longer had the rights to the film. Have you made any inquiries with the Robert Stigwood organization regarding this film? Looking forward to The Fabulous Stains release. Cheers.
Okay. I think I've seen. Did you say Paul? Is that who asked the question?
Paul Ryan, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've seen Paul ask. I think he's asked us about this in other places too. Yeah, no, we didn't. I haven't, since we asked Paramount about it. Haven't explored it further. But you know, I always say never say never. But no, we haven't done anything with Robert Stigwood's organization or whatever's, you know, wherever his holdings are at this point. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be very difficult because it's kind of an estate, you know, and all of that stuff. Most of the films that Stigwood produced are with the major studios, you know, like Jesus Christ Superstar and Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club.
You guys did Times Square,
yeah,
and that was with Studio Canal,
right? And we're gonna do Jesus Christ Superstar, and that was Stigwood. Saturday Night Fever and Staying Alive is also.
Yeah.
He was very much involved with the Bee Gees, so there's a lot of that connection. So yeah, I think getting if the rights are with the Stigwood organization.
Yeah, this is a film. This is a film that basically never came out. Like, it was test marketed, didn't do well, and it's basically like, unless you saw it at those screenings, like, you really haven't seen. Nobody's seen this movie. Right. I don't think it even got shown on TV. So it's a curiosity. Like, it's kind of like.
Have you seen it?
No, I'm saying I haven't seen it.
So that's another thing. Does it have a lot of music, right? So if it has music, like most of Stigwood films had, because he was a music producer.
It's also difficult to, you know, some of these titles that people ask for. Like, I get it, because I've always been kind of I've long been obsessed with, like, there's something fun about a hunt, you know, trying to find something that, like, nobody's seen or hasn't really been available. There's a challenge there. There's something a little more, I find it to be a little more satisfying, because you maybe are potentially going to put something out that's never been out. The other side of it, though, is there's not a lot of awareness for it. Nobody's seen it. Like, I haven't even seen the movie. I don't even know if Paul has seen the movie, because I don't think anybody's really been able to see that.
Yeah,
movie.
It's kind of one of those.
Unless they went to one of those screenings in 1984, like, it got a limited run in limited engagements in Texas, because they were testing it out. Yeah. Anyway, Alicia's looking. Like, she needs to ask another question. So.
I also I misspoke last time about High Risk. I had said that I had heard it was with another label. It has music clearance issues, so it's our legal issues. Let's say this much. I'm not 100%, but even so, I don't want to correct myself again in the next episode. But that movie is not available due to legal issues.
This happens a lot. Yeah, we get this a lot.
Yeah,
we don't get an answer exactly why, but it's just there's some kind of holdup that's a legal holdup.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, we have time for one more question. So sorry to everyone. We'll do more questions next time. This one is from Louis Letizia. Congratulations on getting the elusive Night of the Juggler to 4K. It's amazing. Has anyone tried lately to approach Bristol Myers Squibb about their amazing Palomar catalog? Kino will do brilliant releases with these.
I've had discussions with them. I've said this before. Once they licensed the films to Paramount, and Paramount remade all the three big films, their expectations for those films are different than anybody.
This is Heartbreak Kid and the Stepford Wives and
Sleuth and then there's a small library of films.
No, but the ones they remade.
Yeah, and then there's films like Strange Vengeance of Rosalie, and there's like a really good TV movie that they have, something about Michael is Calling or whatever.
But people want Heartbreak Kid.
Right, they want the top three films, and of course, but we've had discussions with them. So at one point they were thinking about selling the library, so maybe that's still an option. But they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. This is such a small. It's almost like something they don't want to even talk about at this point. So it's going to be
not. It's not the money they could make on it is not worth it for them to even involve their lawyers or whatever.
Right. So
gotcha. Well,
yeah, so that's it.
Thank you, guys. All right. Well, I think we gotta wrap up, but thank you all for watching. Thank you to those who submitted your questions. Thank you, Jonathan, for coming back to Shelf Space.
Hey, this is a lot of fun. Thanks for
I hope that
indulging
you
me.
come back again. You're always welcome here.
It's a short
And
trip.
Frank,
Well, do you wanna mention a movie that you wanna kind of announce? I could probably do one or two myself. So.
Okay. Well, we've already announced that we have a Spike of Bensonhurst coming soon, and we also have another film from the same catalog, which is a company called Film Dallas that was a independent film company in the 80s, and this movie is called Patty Rocks. It's from the same around the same time period as
I
Spike
remember
of Bensonhurst.
Yeah.
Kind of a road movie about with two guys kind of go nowhere kind of guys, and it's got some toxic there's one guy in particular is a little bit there's a little bit of like toxic masculinity, but it's a dark comedy, and it actually was rated X back in the day first because of the language. The language was a little too graphic, so they had to fight to get an R rating. Anyway, that's Patty Rocks. Similar to Spike, hasn't really been available in many years officially. So we'll have a new restoration of that, early next year, along with Spike with Bensonhurst.
And I could mention a movie that we're gonna put out soon on Blu-ray. Only Kiss Before Dying, the remake of the Robert Wagner film with Matt Dillon. It's a good little film. It's going to come out on Blu-ray for the first time in the U.S., so we got that coming out pretty soon.
cool. Very exciting. Look out for those. And also look out for the titles that we discussed today, some of which, not all of the things that we discussed, are available at kinolober.com. The link is in the description below. While you're there, please sign up for our newsletter if you haven't already, and be sure to follow us on social. Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. See you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Okay, thank you.